Hello there, welcome to the continuation of our JavaScript tutorial. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the JavaScript random method. The random method is a very important JavaScript method because it's used in generating random number. The random method itself generates a random number between 0 and 1, right? So we want to look at how do you generate a random number between, certain, range of values. So if you look at this, the math.random always returns a number that is less than 1 and greater than 0. Okay, but then when you use math.random with floor, you can generate numbers that are a whole number like an integer, right? For example, if you want to generate numbers from 0 to 9, you can simply do math.floor, right? Then you say math.random multiply by 10. Now, math.random multiplied by 10 will always give you a float number that is less than 10, right? Since math.random always give you a number less than 1, so and it's always a float number. So when you multiply that float number by 10, it's gonna give you a float number that is less than 10, right? When you say floor, then it what? Converts it to an integer. Now what if you want to include 10? Then you try what? Ceil, right? Remember, ceil always rounds up. So for example, if you look at this, you can see this, we have 8, we have 6, 7, 8 again, we have 3 again, we have 0, we have, because it's always what? Always floor. So if I use ceil here, then I'll always get the value from what? From 1 to 10 now, right? Because if the value is, let's say something ends up in something like 0.11, so ceil will always return 1, right? Instead of, because it always round up. So I'm gonna be able to generate a random number like 1. You see, I got 1, 10, and now I got 10. So this is how to use random number. Now again, you might want to generate random number using the floor. You can also do this. To 11, you will be able to generate 10, right? Now what if you want to generate from 0 to 99? You use 100. If you want to generate from 0 to 100, you use 101 using with along with floor. If you want to generate 1 to 10, another way to generate 1 to 10, you can say math.floor, then you add 1 to it, you always get 1 to 10, right? So if you have 0, you always get 1 because it will add additional 1 to it. If you have 1, you get 2. If this results in a 0 point, maybe 9 point something, and that means you floor to 9 and you added 1, then you are gonna get 10, right? Okay. Again, you can also do this from 1 to 100. But then a proper random function, here we're looking at creating a new function where you supply in your own mean, your own max, and then it gives you a random number that is in between your mean and your max. So for example, you say max.floor, right? Max.random multiply by mean minus max minus mean plus mean, right? So again, this gives you a random number. So let's see. if you look at the function here, this function takes a minimum value, then a maximum value, then it returns a random number in between that minimum value and random value. For example, here, this function was called and we want a minimum number between 0 and 10. So we always get 7, 3, 6, 6, 1, 3. Good. So if I specify that I want from 20 to 100, say, or 20 comma 100, again I run the example. So if I click me, it's 85, 60, 30, 62, 67, 75, 44, 32. Again, I can specify, for example, I say, okay, I want from 1000 to, I want the number, a random number between 1000 to 2000, right? So I run the example again, 1836, 1738, 1124, 1412. Okay, so that's how this example works. So it's very, you can see the logic here. Take the mean from the max, and then later you add the mean to it. So that way, it never goes above the max, and then it never goes below the mean. All right? So that's the logic here. Take the mean from the max, then add the mean to it, and so you get this. So there are two functions. Let's look at the other one. The same function but different logic. Here we say take the max, the mean from the max, add 1 to it, then add the mean to it. So in this case, it's gonna give you inclusion, right? So this case will never include the mean for you, so, and the max, but here it includes both the mean and the max. So for example, if I say 0 to 10, then I can have both 10 as a value and I can have 0 as well as a value. Okay, so let's run this. From 1 to 10, I could have 1, I could have 10. Let me see if I will be able to get 10. Good, I got 10. I got 1 now. So inclusion. So this one will include both the mean and the max, while the other one, if you want a random number in between the mean and the max, but you don't want the mean and the max included, then you use the other one. So see you in the next video.